Good morning. Welcome to your Soulful Sunday. Let's start our day with a big state programming. And before that, Prashant, is today's Friendship Day. So, wishing you all a fabulous Friendship Day. May your friends brighten up your life. May you be the friend who brightens up each other's lives. So, let's be the ones. Let's start our morning with our big state programming. Yes. I'm a winner. And so it is. Once again, let's start our morning with big state programming. Yes. I'm a winner for life. And so it is. So let's have a volunteer for the morning. Somebody will read for all of us. We have 3 books to be read. Thank you, Richa. Thank you, Sanya. So we're on chapter number for longevity. What do they eat? The Ikigai diet. Chapter 7, the Ikigai diet. What the world's longest living people eat and drink. So yes, let's go for it. Yes, please.
Should I read or Richa's reading?
Yeah, please read.
Okay. According to the World Health Organization, Japan has the highest life expectancy in the world, 85 years for men and 87.3 years for women. Moreover, it has the highest ratio of centenarians in the world, more than 520 for every million people as of September 2016. The above graphic, which compares life expectancy in Japan, its province Okinawa, Sweden, and the United States, shows that while life expectancy in Japan is high overall, Okinawa exceeds the national average. Okinawa is one of the areas in Japan that were most affected by the World War II. As a result, not only of conflicts on the battlefield, but also of hunger and a lack of resources once the war ended. The average life expectancy was not very high during the 1940s and the 1950s. As Okinawans recovered from the destruction, however, they came to be some of the country's longest living citizens. What secrets to long life do the Japanese hold? What is it about Okinawa that makes it the best of the best in terms of life expectancy? Experts point out that, for one thing, Okinawa is the only province in Japan without trains. Its residents have to walk or cycle when not driving. It is also the only province that has managed to follow the Japanese government's recommendation of eating less than 10 grams of salt per day.
So, if we observed, of course, Okinawa has the longest living citizens in the graph world. They've done a comparison and we find that. Now, the reasons could have been that firstly, there's no transportation. They have to walk, which keeps them fit. They have to either walk, they have to cycle, or but even now driving. There are no trains, so that's one more thing. Plus, what they're talking about is less than 10 grams of salt per day. So keeping your body more fit, more active, less of salt is also great. Now let's read about the Okinawa's miracle diet.
The mortality rate from cardiovascular disease in Okinawa is the lowest in Japan and died almost certainly and diet almost certainly has a lot to do with this. It is no coincidence that the Okinawa diet is so often discussed around the world at panels on nutrition. The most concrete and widely cited data on diet in Okinawa come from studies by Makoto Suzuki, a cardiologist at the University of the Ryukyus, who has published more than 700 scientific articles on nutrition and aging in Okinawa since 1970. Bradley J. Wilcox and D. Craig Wilcox joined Makoto Suzuki's research team and published a book considered the Bible on the subject, the Okinawa Program. They reached the following conclusions. Locals eat a wide variety of foods, especially vegetables. Variety seems to be key. A study of Okinawa sanitarians showed that they ate 206 different foods, including spices, on a regular basis. They ate an average of 18 different foods each day, a striking contrast to the nutritional poverty of our fast food culture. They eat at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. At least 7 types of fruits and vegetables are consumed by Okinawans on a daily basis. The easiest way to check if there is enough variety on your table is to make sure you are eating the rainbow. A table featuring red peppers, carrots, spinach, cauliflower, and eggplant, for example, offers great color and variety. Vegetables, potatoes, legumes, and soy products such as tofu are the staples of an Okinawan's diet. More than 30% of their diet calories come from vegetables.
So the daily calories, more than 30% is coming from vegetables. That's why they say keep your 30% meal as as raw. And the thing about them is this kind of variety they're having. Now rainbow plate is very, very famous even in India to have all multicolored, salads or fruits and then to eat. So very important for us to probably start diverting from a simple thing to probably maybe more variety. But as I say, each to their own. But this is what has been working for them. So they have been having this. They've been having them soups every day. They have been having vegetables and rice, but the quantities are really, really, really less. So now they're avoiding eating too much. That's also one huge thing. So yeah, let's turn the page. And of course, yes.
Grains are the foundation of their diet. Japanese people eat white rice every day, sometimes adding noodles. Rice is the primary food in Okinawa as well. They rarely eat sugar, and if they do, it's cane sugar. We drove through several sugarcane fields every morning on our way to Ogimi and even drank a glass of cane juice at Nakijin Castle. Besides the stall selling the juice was a sign describing the anti-carcinogenic benefits of sugarcane. In addition to these basic dietary principles, Okinawans eat fish an average of 3 times per week. Unlike in other parts of Japan, the most frequently consumed meat is pork, though locals eat it only once or twice per week. Along these lines, Makoto Suzuki's studies indicate the following. Okinawans consume in general one-third as much sugar as the rest of the Japan's population, which means that sweets and chocolates are much less a part of their diet. They also eat particularly half as much salt as the rest of the Japan, 7 grams per day compared to an average of 12. They consume fewer calories, an average of 1,785 per day compared to 2,068 in the rest of the Japan. In fact, low calorie intake is common among the 5 blue zones.
So what we observed here is that grains are the foundation of the diet, and they're having white rice. Now, it's very funny when when you hear somebody says here that white rice is not so great, brown is. So I feel it's just each to their own. But yes, one commonality then here is not to eat white sugar as it's poison. So if you have to eat, if you must eat, it's cane sugar. That's what they're promoting and harping on. Of course, the talking about meats. Many of Indians are vegetarians as well. Talking about salt once again, they're talking about fewer calories in comparison to their peers, which also makes life, long life. Because food is not the energy giver, is something which we've been now studying and understanding. So we've all been conditioned to eating food, but food is not the energy source. So that's one thing that all of us may understand. Let's read what is Harahachibu.
This brings us back to the 80% rule we mentioned in the first chapter, a concept known in Japanese as Harahachibu. It's easy to do. When you notice you're almost full but could have a little more, just stop eating. One easy way to start applying the concept of Harahachibu is to skip dessert or to reduce portion size. The idea is to still be a little hungry when you finish. This is why portion size tends to be much smaller in Japan than in the West. Food isn't served as appetizers, main courses, and dessert. Instead, it's much more common to see everything presented at once on small plates, one with rice, another with vegetables, a bowl of miso soup, and something to snack on. Serving food on many small plates makes it easier to avoid eating too much and facilitates the varied diet discussed at the beginning of this chapter. Hara Hachibu is an ancient practice. The 12th century book on Zen Buddhism, Zazen Yuzinki, recommends eating two-thirds as much as you might want to. Eating less than one might want is common among all Buddhist temples in the East. Perhaps Buddhism recognized the benefits of limiting caloric intake more than 9 centuries ago.
If you realize if you eat less the day, your concentration is so much more in doing everything. The energy levels are more. I don't know. I realized it when I was doing it for a week, but that's what I realized that food is not just the source. So Buddhists definitely have minimalistic food that they eat. Japanese are having. We all know about how the Japanese are served, extremely small portions, and the traditional way to eat Japanese food is sitting like you have to. The restaurants are they don't have chairs and tables. You've got to sit on the floor on cushions and then eat. It's the tummy pressed, just the way traditional Indian eating used to be. So yes, these practices are practiced even now. There. So like last chapter for today is so eat less to live longer.
Few would challenge this idea without taking it to the extreme of malnutrition, of course. Eating fewer calories than our bodies ask for seems to increase longevity. The key to staying healthy while consuming fewer calories is eating foods with a high nutritional value, especially superfoods, and avoiding those that add to our overall caloric intake but offer little to no nutritional value. The calorie restriction we've been discussing is one of the most effective ways to add years to your life. If the body regularly consumes enough or too many calories, it gets lethargic and starts to wear down, expending significant energy on digestion alone. Another benefit of calorie restriction is that it reduces levels of IGF-1, insulin like growth factor 1, in the body. IGF-1 is a protein that plays a significant role in the aging process. It seems that one of the reasons humans and animals age is an excess of this protein in their blood. Whether calorie restriction will extend lifespan in humans is not yet known, but data increasingly indicate that Moderate calorie restriction with adequate nutrition has a powerful protective effect against obesity, type 2 diabetes, inflammation, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease, and reduces metabolic risk factors associated with
And
cancer.
cardiovascular disease and reduces metabolic risk factors associated with cancer.
Should I
Tanya, your
continue?
voice has stopped coming.
Oh, is it? Am
Your
I
voice has
audible?
stopped coming. Yes,
Am I
please.
audible? An alternative
Yes,
to
please.
following the 80% rule on a daily basis is to fast for 1 or 2 days each week. The 5 is to 2 of fasting diet recommends 2 days of fasting, consuming fewer than 500 calories every week, and eating normally on the other 5 days. Among its many benefits, fasting helps cleanse the digestive system and allows it to rest.
Very important to understand this, and this is something I'm adopting this week onwards, 5 is to 2. Let's see, because I loved that 1 week long fast. It was amazing. So maybe I'll be doing this as well, and let's see how where it takes me. So what we understood from this chapter is very wonderful. Calorie restriction, they have no scientific study whether it increases lifespan, but what they have observed it that when you have more calories, you're lethargic and you're wearing and tearing down, and also your body's energy is used in digesting the food alone. What could have been used in something better is used in digestion, assimilation. So when you restrict food, definitely those kind of your power, your entire thing would be reserved for you to do something more better. So that's definitely one thing which is a given. And of course, they talk about 5 is to 2. We all have studied about that also. It also apparently helps in cleansing the digestive system and allows it to rest, which it really needs to rest. So very, very important to understand this. Of course, what we want to adopt is completely onto us. Tomorrow we'll read about the 15 natural antioxidants. Today, let's move on to the power of now. Today, we are into a new chapter. Yesterday and day before, we spoke about fear, how all of us can affirm, switch over into a high feeling zone, and take the fear away because we are meant to be whole and complete. So, fears are all man made. Now, we're going into a deeper section. So, the section's name is chapter number 3, moving deeply into the now. Don't seek yourself in the mind. I feel that there is still a great deal I need to learn about the workings of my mind before I can get anywhere near full consciousness or spiritual enlightenment. So let's hear the answer from Eckhart.
No, you don't. The problems of the mind cannot be solved on the level of the mind. Once you have understood the basic dysfunction, there isn't really much else that you need to learn or understand. Studying the complexities of the mind, may make you a good psychologist, but doing so won't take you beyond the mind, just as the study of madness isn't enough to create sanity. You have already understood the basic mechanics of the unconscious state, identification with the mind, which creates a false self, the ego, as a substitute for your true self rooted in being. You become as a branch cut off from the vine, as Jesus puts it. The
So
ego.
let's understand paragraph by paragraph. Now, when they say there's a great deal that I need to learn about the workings of my mind, and I can get anywhere near full consciousness or spiritual enlightenment. So people say, oh, बहुत evolve करना पड़ता है to become spiritual, to become conscious. No, but that's not true. You are born spiritual. You are born with consciousness, just that you have forgotten about it. So really, there's not too much to learn or to understand or to forget or to unlearn. Now, even studying the complexities of the mind, that's a work of psychologists, not you and me. So you don't even have to go there. But yes, what you do have to create is a conducive atmosphere to learn. You already know the basic techniques and the mechanics of the unconscious state. You have identified with that. You have studied Dr. Joseph Murphy's book also, that that is the self which is creating your false ego, false self. That's not your true self. And that is not in the matter of being. Now, being is being right now in the moment. Anything which has ego attached is something coming from the past. ऐसा हुआ था, so my ego came up. Or I will prove myself and I will show that, I am superior. So you're either in the past or the present. You're not right now in the moment. So please understand, this is when you say that, you become a branch cutter from the vine, because what is the vine all about? The wine is all about love, about light, about peace, about bliss. And the minute you become high-headed or you become anything near ego, you've cut yourself off and fallen very far away from the vine. That's what Christ says. So yeah, let's continue our studies. Please, let's read.
The ego's needs are endless. It feels vulnerable and threatened, and so lives in a state of fear and want. Once you know how the basic dysfunction operates, there is no need to explore all its countless manifestations. No need to make it into a complex personal problem. The ego, of course, loves that. It is always seeking for something to attach itself in order to uphold and strengthen its illusory sense of self, and it will readily attach itself to your problems. This is why, for so many people, a large part of their sense of self is intimately connected with their problems. Once this has happened, the last thing they want is to become free of them. That would mean loss of self. There can be a great deal of unconscious ego investment in pain and suffering. So, once you recognize the root of unconsciousness as identification with the mind, which of course includes the emotions, you step out of it. You become present. When you are present, you can allow the mind to be as it is without getting entangled in it. The mind is itself not dysfunctional. It is a wonderful tool. Dysfunction sets in when you seek yourself in it and mistake it for who you are. It then becomes the egoic mind and takes over your whole life.
So let's understand this bit by bit. The ego's needs are selfless. Are they? I said this, but are they? No, because I'm purposely misread. The ego's needs are too much, too big. It's larger than anything. It's never ending. It's full of I, me, and am. It's not selfless, it's selfish. It's full of being like I, me, and am. And now it's feeling very delicate, very vulnerable, very threatened whenever anybody comes who will say, okay, this could be right. Why? Because I need to be right. I'm egoistic. Everything that I say is right. Anybody who comes and challenges me makes me threatened. Oh no, this is my territory. This is where I'm supposed to be right. How can anybody prove me wrong? Now, once you and I know that, okay, this is the problem of our ego, how do we go about it? There is no need to explore. So Ritesh sir, if you can just turn the page back in 39, we're going bit by bit. Yeah, so it says, once you know how the basic dysfunction operates, there is no need to explore all its countless manifestations. No need to make it into a complex personal problem. Now that you know that ego is larger than life and it just wants too much, what is the need for you to manifest? What is the need to making it a personal problem? Ego and love are not together. So if there's ego, there's lack of love. So please do not manifest from that state, because it's going to be very un-you. So it's not going to be in love. Now what you need is things to happen in love. So the minute you have ego, मेरा ये काम हो जाना चाहिए. Those manifestations will never come true because they're coming from ego state of mind. And that ego state of mind, the list is endless. ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए. The ego will love it whenever you're giving it any kind of manifestation which it's operating from that world. It'll love it. It's always looking at seeking for something to attach itself in order to uphold and strengthen the illusionary sense of self. Because ego needs somebody to thrive on. Today, if you just say, no, I will not give importance to ego, ego can't live in you, right? Ego has to latch on to something somewhere, and that something somewhere is you. Now, the minute you're giving it more, you're nourishing it more, nurturing it more with its thoughts, coming from that world, manifesting or doing whatever, you're strengthening it. And then your I, me, and am becomes larger and larger and larger. So you're ready to attach it to yourself. And hence the problems will increase because ego means lack of love. This is why so many people in the world, a large part of their sense of self is intimately connected with their problems. So if you want the problems to go, you have to understand that it's not about I, me, and am. See the larger picture in life. But our limited vision has made us wear the horse blinkers and we can only see from our perspective. Time to take these off and see the larger picture. Once this has happened, the last thing they want is to understand, to become free of them. So you can turn the page. You have to become free of this egoistic mindset. You have to lose this sense of I, me, and am. And it's not about I, me, and am. It's always a larger picture. And this is when you will realize that you're free of your pain and suffering because now you're no longer rooting yourself to it. So it's all about observing, it's all about listening, it's all about recognizing that the root cause of unconsciousness as identification with the mind, which of course includes emotions. You step out of it. Kabhi kabhar, it's good to step out of your body and see what are you observing. Start observing. Start being in the moment. If you're in the moment, you will realize that okay, this is the what the body is going through. Start saying in the second person narrative at times for yourself. I'm not saying say that in public, but for you to identify, oh, the body is feeling this. Oh, the mind is harping on this. Rather than getting entangled in the entire process, it's good to have a second or third person perspective on what is happening. The mind in itself is not dysfunctional. Obviously, it's not. It's a wonderful tool. It will help you do so much. But dysfunction will set in when you are going to make mistake after mistake after mistake about I, me, and am. And then that is when ego will take over and your mind or your life will be controlled by this little thing called ego. So very important for all of us to understand that whenever this ego sets in, you have to step out to observe. Sunita, this is not about other people at all. How can you control somebody else's ego? Are you here to transform yourself or other people? If you're seeing somebody like that, it's also because it's a dimension of you. You also have that in you. Otherwise, you'll not be able to see it. So please understand that very clearly. If you're seeing that ego in somebody else, it's an aspect of you as well. So get this very, very clear. Now let's read the next chapter, which is pretty much a part of this. End the delusion of time. So the question which was asked to Eckhart was, it seems almost impossible to disidentify from the mind. We are all immersed in it. How do you teach a fish to fly? Yeah, so very tough questions that are asked. Let's see Eckhart's answer.
Here is the key: end the delusion of time. Time and mind are inseparable. Remove time from the mind and it stops, unless you choose to use it. To be identified with your mind is to be trapped in time, the compulsion to live almost exclusively through memory and anticipation. This creates an endless preoccupation with the past and future and an unwillingness to honor and acknowledge the present moment and allow it to be the compulsion arises because the past gives you an identity and the future holds the promise of salvation, of fulfillment in whatever form. Both are illusions.
Let's get this very clear. So now the question was, बट इट्स सो इम्पॉसिबल. हाउ डू यू डिसआइडेंटिफाई? माइंड से अलग कैसे करो अपने आप को? हम तो माइंड के अंदर माइंड गेम्स में फंसे पड़े हैं. कैसे? हाउ कैन ए फिश फ्लाई? अ फिश इज यूज्ड टू वाटर. हाउ डू वी ओपन इट अप? Yeah, it's absolutely. How do you make yourself separate? So now the answer is end the delusion of time. Time and mind are inseparable. Remove time from the mind and it stops unless you choose to use it. क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? Can anyone tell me? Remove time from the mind and it stops unless you choose to use it. What does it mean? Okay, great, Nehal. Fantastic. So if I remove time, there was no past, there's no, yes, Uncle, absolutely. Very nice, Shelly. So if there was no past and there's no future and there is no present, so it is just the ego. How will the ego thrive? How will the mind thrive? Then the mind is all about time, right? कल ऐसा हुआ था, आज ऐसा हो रहा है, कल ऐसा होगा या हो सकता है. Now, if you've taken time away, how can the mind function? So, very important for us to try and separate the two at times. Now, to be identified with the mind is to be trapped in time. The compulsion to live almost exclusively through memory and anticipation. So, this is where आपकी memory past में क्या हुआ है is coming in the picture. That's about past tense. Anticipation about the future. So where is it being right now? Nowhere. Because your mind is trapped either in the past or the future, not the present. So let's understand that you and I am here for a sense of reason. And if we try and disassociate the time, you can definitely go further beyond. Now, the minute we create this vacuum where we separate the two, now there is endless preoccupation with past and future and unwillingness to honor and acknowledge the present moment and allow it to be, which means conditioning ही नहीं है. The mind will has to work on the present, but it doesn't want to work on the present because present में तो पता ही नहीं ला. It's all about the past or the future. The past is giving them a sense of identity. Conviction से ये हो चुका है. Future is giving them a promise salvation कि अरे ये पूरा हो जाएगा, ये फुलफिल हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. कोई भी फ्यूचर के बारे में अच्छा ही सोचता है, मोस्टली कई लोग बुरा भी सोचते हैं ना. सब भ्रम है, they're both illusions. What is there is only right now. There is no past, there is no future. Past तो बीत गया, future तो आने वाला है. But what you're doing right now is in the present moment. You're a human being right now. So go with the present experiences. Don't keep harping upon the future. The next question that was posed to Eckhart was, but without a sense of time, how would we function in this world? There would be no goals to strive towards anymore. I wouldn't even know who I am because my past makes me into who I am today. I think there's something very precious and we need to learn to use it wisely rather than waste it. So, yeah, very important question. So, now what is Eckhart's answer? Let's understand.
Time isn't precious at all because it is an illusion. What you perceive as precious is not time, but the one point that is out of time, the now. That is precious indeed. The more you are focused on time, past and future, the more you miss the now, the most precious thing there is. Why is it the most precious thing? Firstly, because it is the only thing. It's all there is. The eternal present is the space within which your whole life unfolds. The one factor that remains constant. Life is now. There was never a time when your life was not now, nor will there ever be. Secondly, the now is the only point that can take you beyond the time limited confines of the mind. It's your only point of access into the timeless and formless realm of being.
So, very beautiful to know that they, Eckhart is saying, time isn't precious at all. Time in itself is an illusion. जो हम समझते हैं कि precious है, वो भी at one point is out of time. It's always now. Now is precious. The more you're focused on the past or the future, the more you're missing the now, which is such a precious thing. So now the question asks is why is it very precious? Because it's the only thing there is. यही तो है जो है. कल जो था वो था. आगे जो है वो होगा. ये होगा वो होगा पता नहीं. अभी जो है वो तो certainly है ना हमारे पास. The eternal present is a space within which your whole life unfolds. So अभी हमारी life unfold हो रही है. Have you ever heard the fact that बच्चों के साथ time spend करना है, बच्चों को love देना is equal to time spent with them? All they need is love in the now. कल क्या बनने वाले हैं, आप डांट मार रहे हैं, कुछ कर रहे हैं. How about going and spending some time with them? That too now. Rather than procrastinating, कल करेंगे, वो करेंगे, ऐसा. Why not now? One fact that remains constant, the present moment where life unfolds. Even after 5 minutes, it'll be that present moment. This will also become past. Time is the only constant, it's always changing. Life is now. There was never a time when your life was not now, nor will there ever be. समझना बहुत important है हम सबके लिए because हम ख्याली पुलाव में रहते हैं. We are in a world of procrastination, in a world where we are all about past or future. What is now is something that none of us, or most of us, I should say, are not in it right now. The now is the only point that can take you beyond the limited confines of the mind. This is where you create whatever you want to create. It's your only point of access into the timeless and formless realm of being. I can access and do whatever I want now. Future is still a mystery. We do not know what's going to happen, but now we are certain about. And this has a shape, this has a form. So why not be in the now? Why not be a being right now? Very important for us to understand this. On this note, let's think about what we've studied in our 1 minute silence so that all of us can understand that we are here for a reason and a purpose, and that reason is to understand the now. The time is always now. This is where we create whatever we create with love, with satisfaction, with a good feeling. And it can manifest into whatever in the future, that's fine. But I should enjoy doing what I am doing at the moment. Be it studies, be it classes, be it business, whatever. It, if love is what I'm giving it right now, in the moment, realizing it's for the moment, and leaving rest of the future to the process of life, then I'm ever present. Then in the true sense, I'm being a human. And so it is. Small children live in the now. Absolutely, Shelley. This means I've been doing business only for future. So, Asmi, this is in a way contradiction or pretty much there. So, if you're doing business right now with loving your business right now, or whatever you're doing, you're liking the decision, then you're being in the now. Obviously, there's so many things that you're investing in right now for them to reap later. Even when we sow a plant, we are sowing it right now, but we're nurturing it knowing that tomorrow it will become bigger and it'll give us fruits. And that's not wrong. But you're living in the now by nurturing it now. So that's fine. So even your business, if you're doing it now and you're investing time, energy, money in it, to expand it later, that's fine. Now that's okay. That is not, that's actually in a way living in the now. You're living in the now, right? You're investing or whatever you're doing now. So just realize that whatever is there is for now. Tomorrow is uncertain. It may work, it may not work. Yes, in the world of manifestation, we always believe that it will work. And so it is. Now, the next, yes, the future depends upon now. Absolutely, Richa. Nothing exists outside the now. That's today's section. And here we're reading, aren't past and future just as real? Sometimes even more real than the present. After all, the past determines who we are, as well as how we perceive and behave in the present. And our future goals determine which actions we take in the present. So, very relevant question. Let's see what Eckhart has to answer.
We haven't yet grasped the essence of what I'm saying because you are trying to understand it mentally. The mind cannot understand this. Only you can. Please just listen. Have you ever experienced, done, thought, or felt anything outside the now? Do you think you ever will? Is it possible for anything to happen or be outside the now? The answer is obvious. It is not. Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. What you think of as the past is a memory trace stored in the mind of a
Only I can hear, only I can hear Sania's voice fading, or everyone can hear her voice fading and coming and going. Is there some problem with my connection, or is everyone feeling that? Her voice is dipping and coming in my thing. So can someone tell me? Or is it okay? It's clear? So that means there's some problem with my connection. Okay. Yes, please, Anya. Please continue.
what you think of as the memory is the memory trace stored in the mind of a former now. When you remember the past, you reactivate a memory trace, and you do so now. The future is an imagined now, a projection of the mind. When the future comes, it comes as the now. When you think about the future, you do it now. Past and future obviously have no reality of their own, just as the moon has no light of its own, but can only reflect the light of the sun. So are past and future only pale reflections of the light, power, and reality of the eternal present. Their reality is borrowed from the now. The essence of what I'm saying here cannot be understood by the mind. The moment you grasp it, there is a shift in consciousness from mind to being, from time to presence. Suddenly, everything feels alive, radiates energy, emanates being.
Very nice. Let's turn back to page number 41, sir. So the question that was asked is, isn't past important because that's today that's driving it? Isn't future important because today we're working on it? So now what Eckhart's answer is very, very profound. He says, please don't use your mind now. Use your heart in a way. Have you ever experienced, done, thought, or felt anything outside the now? Do you think you ever will? Is it possible for anything to happen to be outside the now? The answer is obvious, is it not? Obvious, the answer is obvious, right? कुछ हमने ऐसा फील किया है जो दिमाग के बियॉन्ड हो रहा है, which mind can't construe. Only you can. What is you can and what is mind? Right now, all we've been thinking is from our mind. So now it's time to listen. What do we listen? So very important for us to listen that is it possible for anything to happen or be outside the now? Nothing ever happened in the past. Nothing at all happened in the now. कुछ भी अगर होता है तो किसी समय होता है जब it's now. It's never in the past. Yes, you can say it happened, but that moment that it's happened was the present moment. जो future में भी अगर होगा कभी भी कुछ, that time the moment will be now. So what you think of past is a memory trace stored in the mind of a former now. So now is always constant. When you remember the past, you reactivate a memory trace and you do so now. The future is an imagined now, a projection of the mind. So जो भी कुछ future में होने वाला है, it's a mind game. This is going to happen, that's going to happen. Even what we're doing creative visualization, these are all mind games that we are again working and honing on themselves. So when the future comes, it comes as a now. जब भी future में कुछ होगा, that moment will be present. So when we think about the future, we think about it now. अभी सोच रहे हैं उसके बारे में. Past and future obviously they have no relevance here because they have their own reality. Now the example that has been given is just as the moon has no light of its own but can only reflect the light of the sun, so are past and future. So very important for all of us to understand they're only pale reflections. So you can turn the page of the light of your inner power that you were born in, of the reality of the right now's present. Their reality is borrowed from the now. So it's very important to understand that everyone is working on a borrowing principle, but borrowing from where? From right now, which is most important. The essence of what I'm saying here is you cannot be understood by now, this can't be understood by the mind. The moment you grasp it, there's a shift in consciousness from mind to being, from time to presence. Suddenly, everything feels alive, radiates energy, emanates being. So we are being conditioned to living in the now, to being in the now, not human being, not will be, right now. So very important to understand that. And on this note, let's take another break of silence. The past happened in a moment called now. The future will happen in a moment of now. Now is the most important, the eternal now, the power of now. Let's start living as beings in the now. There's a reason why we call human beings and not been or will be, because we're meant to live in the now. And so it is. Thank you, Sanya. Thank you, Ritesh, sir. Let's move on to Luke Ottino's book. So this is a very profound reading where every day we're being conditioned into being told again and again and again, whatever is there is only in the now. And that doesn't mean that we need to go in a higher consciousness to understand. Yes, all of us are evolving. We are reaching a higher consciousness. It's not like we aren't, but there's no base level for this. So yes, this section answers pretty much everything. So we must, yes, it's very beautifully said, Shelley, 100%. So let's understand the power is now. And we all procrastinating is calling them now. Okay, so for those of us who've been fighting with the weight battle, let's understand number 12, sweat your weight off. We've always heard about this. Now let's read about this and understand the science also. Yes, please, Sanya.
Sweat your weight off. When was the last time you worked up a really good sweat? It need not have been during a workout. It could just have been in the sweltering summer heat. No one likes to sweat when dressed up or headed to office or for a meeting or dinner. But do make sure you incorporate enough activity in your routine so you work up a sweat as it has some amazing health benefits. I believe that anything the body does or produces naturally is because of its profound intelligence, be it sweat, dirt in the corners of the eye, the smell in your mouth, or the sticky goo in the nose. These are natural mechanisms of the body working to expel clean, eliminate, or heal. And you need to look at them as indicators of your body trying to tell you something. Skin is the largest eliminatory organ in the human body. It consists of trillions of pores that help the body eliminate toxic waste that causes deadly diseases, hair fall, organ failure, and low immunity, and can be considered slow down weight can considerably slow down weight loss. Did you know that sweat can eliminate more lead than your daily urine output? Even a little sweat is enough for your body to detox. You don't need to overtrain for that benefit. If you use creams and cosmetics, these may block the skin's pores. A study showed that a woman's body absorbs 2 to 3 kgs of cosmetic chemicals in a year. I'm not an expert, but when it comes to cosmetics and creams, but I know enough to say that pure coconut oil is one of the best skin applicants for almost all skin issues or beauty purposes, as it gets directly absorbed and retained below skin level without blocking the pores, hence keeping the eliminatory system working. However, remember that sweating will result in your body losing valuable fluids and electrolytes. Be sure to stay well hydrated every time you build up a sweat and replace the electrolytes naturally by drinking coconut water or a quarter teaspoon of salt mixed with 3 liters of filtered water.
Okay, so very important to understand this sweating is extremely important. And sweating in the rightful fashion is very, very important. And people who've been using sunblocks, people who've been using creams are not allowing the natural process and not allowing a normal detox. So very important to allow that to happen. And as read here very, very clearly, that if you are not allowing that to happen, your trillions of pores can be blocked and they will not be able to eliminate the toxic waste because of your so called usage of artificial stuff. And then you will, all those toxins will go back in your body. They will manifest as a disease. You will have hair fall, bad nails, organs will fail, low immunity, and you will considerably slow down weight loss. There's a reason why in the gyms they say after breaking into a sweat, please take a cold shower. Has anyone heard that? It's very important when you sweat it up, you come back from a market, you've sweated up or whatever. Quickly changing your clothes and taking a bath is very important rather than letting the thing dry. Some people say, "Pehle sukha lo, fir naha lo." No, sukha lo matlab you're allowing toxins to go back in your body. The minute you've broken out into sweat, even if you're working out at home, like I was doing these Surya Namaskars with the Bhaktambar, it was like you were becoming red hot. So in the middle of the session, the teacher would say, "Do ghante ka session, and you have broken. Just quickly go and take a bath. 5 minutes it'll take. You can't allow the toxins to go back in your body." So very important to understand that this sweat, which is breaking out, is nothing but a detox happening from every pore of your skin, especially from your face, from your underarms, or wherever it's happening. And these are children or elders are using something underarms or they're using this sunblocks. It's really a bad idea. And of course, these cosmetics, they're full of chemicals which are not required by our body. And I don't know why they've been made. I don't know why we've been using them. Simple Dadi Nani ka nuskha works so well of using rose water, glycerine, and lime, or just using your normal coconut oil. They are really, really, really great. So try and use the basic stuff rather than using all of this. 2-3 kilos of cosmetic chemicals in a year. These days, even men have tried using. So just be careful of what you're putting in your body. All these are just opening our eyes. Of course, Luke says very categorically, if we've had a lot of sweating, we have to replace the electrolytes by having either dark pani, nariyal pani, or adding the little salt to your water. So that's where it becomes a little alkaline or little. It just adds electrolytes to your body. So that's of course there. So I think we do have time to read the next chapter, so we can read the next chapter also. Sanjay, there's you can change the chapter. Today, Ikigai also began with page number 121, and even today 121 is coming here as well. So wonderful. This magic weight loss tea is fantastic, very easy to cook, simmer, and make, and very tasty. And it's very, very nice. So let's read the recipe and let's read the faida of this. Yes.
The magic weight loss tea. Add this magic tea to your daily regime and lifestyle. You can use a base of black or green tea, or just make an infusion with water and the following ingredients: a square inch piece of fresh ginger root, squeeze of a lemon, 2 cups of water, 2 to 3 peppercorns, a cinnamon stick, 2 cardamom pods, crushed, 2 cloves. Boil, simmer, reduce to half, strain, and serve hot with or without pure honey. This amazing potion is detoxifying and highly anti inflammatory and has the power to rapidly decrease candida and yeast infections that inhibit weight loss. Ginger is essential to this magic tea recipe due to its amazing benefits. It helps in boosting immunity and cellular health, controlling high blood pressure, lowering cholesterol, and stimulating blood rush to sex organs. It also prevents and treats the flu, digestive issues, menstrual pain, PMS, cancer by building immunity and cellular health, arthritis, joint or bone pain, and aging. Over the past few years, I have used and shared this remedy with so many clients and friends for so many conditions, and it has never failed to produce the desired results.
Yes, so a lot of us have been using this in some fashion or the other, like karha. But then this is, it doesn't matter. This is not for winter or summer. It's really nice. Ginger root, fresh ginger root, little lime, and lime. Always remember. I don't know. आप सबको पता ही होगा. But lime is supposed to be used after the gas turns off, not in the gas because it becomes toxic. So 2 cups of water, 2, 3 peppercorns, one cinnamon stick, and cinnamon stick if preferred Sri Lankan one, or if you're buying the local one, please see that उसमें wax की substance तो नहीं है. तो उसमें अगर wax है तो it's artificially treated. Please be careful of your cinnamon sticks. ये ना हो उल्टा नुकसान हो जाए. Elaichi, if possible, crushed, cloves. So when you boil them, have them. Firstly, it's yum. If you like it sweet, you can have with honey. Otherwise, even like this, it's sweet, and it's very helpful in weight loss. Why? Because our body has some kind of toxic substances, which is going to get reduced the minute you're having this. So it's like they're going to help you flush them out, and then your digestive system will become better and better. And if there's anything more, it becomes better. So very important to have this if you're looking at weight loss as one of your goals. So thank you, Sanya, for reading all the 3 books for us so beautifully. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ritesh sir, let's move on to the heart thoughts. And could I have a volunteer for the heart thought, please? That's why we write positive affirmations in the believing in the present, even if they're future goals. Absolutely, Neha. Very, very well caught. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Always it's a present moment. Always it's affirmation. Yes. So that, and you're even visualizing as if you receive in the now. That's how it is. Yes, Richa, please read for us. Mother, I have a right to have the life I want. Have a good support group, especially when you don't want to do something, they will help you grow. So support group is very important so that you just know that you're there for each other, you have each other's back. And this you will find. And I can tell you one thing, the best support group is going to be one of the sanghas only. They know what tangent what frequency are you vibrating at. Other people will still be in the dark. So it's nicer to have them for this. So it's very beautiful. Yes.
I have a right to have the life I want. What kind of relationship would you like to have with your mother? Put it into affirmative treatment form and start declaring it for yourself. Then you can tell her if she is still pushing your buttons, you are not letting her know how you feel. You have a right to have the life you want. You have a right to be an adult. It may not be easy. Decide what it is you need. She may not approve of it, but do not make her wrong. Tell her what you need. Ask her, how can we work this out? Say to her, I want to love you and I want to have a wonderful relationship with you and I need to be myself.
How wonderful. So very important for all of us to understand that there's many kinds of relationships. The most important relationship is what you have with yourself. If your relationship with yourself is great, and that will depend upon your source relationship, which is your mother. If you haven't been able to forgive your mother for something, or you don't recognize her, you don't give her importance enough, then you will never be content with yourself. If you're cringing, talking negative about your mother, you cannot grow on. So, very important for you to first treat your relationship with your mother. You can tell her whatever you think it is. If your mom unknowingly is pushing your buttons and you're not liking it, you have a right for yourself. You can choose to be an adult. Yes, it may not be easy to go away from her wings, but there's no need to make her right or wrong. Just work it out. Just tell yourself what you really want to do. And please work on the most beautiful relationship, and that is with yourself. Once you are in a relationship with yourself, you will really be able to prosper, grow, and make your life come true the way you want it. Well, life is really beautiful and simple. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll go on to a meditation, and we'll do a little shorter meditation because I think a lot of people had to share on Sunday. I don't know who all had to share. People kept saying on Sunday we'll share, we'll reflect. So we'll give time for that. But if you can let me know if there are people who want to raise their hand, at least I'll know how many reflections there are. Because being a Sunday morning, you want to spend time with yourselves. So you can just raise your hand so I know that you want to share. And now let's just meditate. Let's inhale love, exhale love, inhale peace, inhale now, absorb it, and reflect it as you release. Life is easy. Life is new. Life makes us understand it. If we are on our own purpose and not understanding our reason, maybe there will be knocks and shocks in life to get us back on track. But if we autocorrect our path by being in the now, working on our spiritual journey, being the messengers of love and light, then we're automatically on the right course. Yes, a lot of us will have problems because unknowingly we have strayed away from love. Love is all there is. Light is all there is. And we have gotten clouded in our thoughts, in our imagination. But it's time to take those layers away. It's time to remove the tinted glasses. It's time to see life in its true glorious form in the now. We can create love or we can create lack of love. We can choose to be happy, or we can choose to throw our weight around. We can choose to be one, or we can try and show our supremacy. The choice is always ours. What is it that I choose right now will decide how I will have a future. How about going all in, extending my love to wherever I can? I have been given oceans full of love. Have I truly used it ever, or am I storing it for some rainy day? Let me introspect, ask myself some deep dive questions. Where am I in life? Am I content? If not, what stops me from being content? Because I am the creator, director, producer, writer of my movie, of my life. Then what's stopping me from living a magnificent life? Because when he sent me here as his new avatar, he sent me whole and complete. Where did I lose my focus? Where did I shift? Now, time to come back on the track. Let me embrace totality of possibility. Let me tap into my infinite potential. Let me reach out and help humanity. Let me uplift others. Maybe that'll open the doors, the blockages that I've had. At times, to get, we have to give. So maybe what I'm seeking inside is actually outside also. Or maybe what I'm seeking outside is actually always inside. Because every answer is in me. I may not be able to see it, but it's always in me. The journey is always about going inward. The more you go inward, the more you realize your true being, the more you will prosper in life. What is prosperity? Is it wealth? Is it health? Or is it that beautiful peace of mind where you feel you're happy, you're content? Why can't every moment be like that? Why can't I chew my food, enjoying every single flavor, every single second by chewing it? Why can't I hug my child without thinking too much? Why can't I be nice to all my staff all the time? Why wear masks when I'm actually unmasked? When I was born in this world, I was born whole and complete, unmasked, in my true self. So why did I wear these layers of masks? Cosmetic layers, actual layers, imaginary layers. Because society, why? Am I happy? It's time for me to introspect or where I am. Most definitely, I've been given the tool to manifest. Yes, manifestations are coming true. But how about going inwards and finding myself, the beautiful pearl that I am, right now in an oyster, and that too covered with so much of debris? Time to find myself. Time to go inwards. Time to stop looking at people, their negativities, because they're also reflections of mine. Time to first understand, who am I? What am I vibrating at? What am I resonating with? The more questions I ask, the more answers I seek, the more solutions come my way. So let me be a seeker, and yet let me also be the one who's evolving every day with love and purpose. Let us all invite the blessings of all the gurus, the maharishis, teachers who may have taught us in the past lives or now, who may be in this realm or others, who may be in this plane or the others, who may be in this dimension or the higher ones. Let us be mindful, heartful, and thankful for each one of them. We are what we are because of them. They could have come into our lives as books, teachings and through books. They could have come in our lives in person. So, a big thank you to each one of them for making us inch closer towards our spirituality, our real essence, our real being. I now realize I'm neither the mind nor the body. I am the soul. All the relationships I have in this life are meant to be given lots of love. And I share my love. Welcome to Forgiving Yourself, a guided meditation. I am here for a purpose, and I'm living my life with that beautiful purpose. May I get the inner strength to discover who I am within me. May I go deeper and deeper and deeper, and let all the loved ones around me be soaked in my layer of love. I am love, and so it is. Let's bow down our heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth for always being an unconditional giver. We thank her with the truest being of ourselves. We thank our life, all lives we've lived, all the experiences, all the lessons we've learned. A big shout of thanks to all the past experiences and to the present moment where we all evolving, finding ourselves. And the future that none of us know exactly how it'll be. A big shout of thanks to that as well, because it'll be nothing but glorious. Let's open our hands towards the universe above. Thank it for having our back. Thank Cosmos for including us in the Leela. Thank all the divinities for showering us with the choicest of blessings. To the angels for always ensuring magic exists. To the guardians for always being around us, keeping us in a protection layer of safety. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's fold our hands together in gratitude to all the lessons we've learned in our lives. Let's open our angel hearts. I am love. I am light. I shine bright, right here, right now, because I choose to live in the now and embrace all things wonderful, because I am open and receptive to all the love and abundance the universe is. I am a yes person for goodness. Let's fold our hands again, rub them together. Bless our conscious, subconscious for unlearning, restructuring, reprogramming, and learning. To a wonderful face with all the five sensory skills, our neck, our food pipe, our shoulders, arms upper to lower, hands, fingers and nails, upper back, middle back, lower back, hips, chest, lungs, heart, stomach, intestines, liver, gallbladder, kidneys, sexual organs, excretory organs, thighs, knees, calves, heels, ankles, soles, two fingernails. And come back up again, fold our arms, our hands. An ode to our beautiful body, to all the organs, muscles, tissues, fibers, glands, trillions of cells, blood circulation system, and to our skin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are absolutely marvelous. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And to the energy, the key and the chi that flows in me, I invoke you to share my love, light, and blessings of abundance and healing with my Sangha, their loved ones, and all beings on Mother Earth. Let Mother Earth evolve. Let India become Kritagya Bharat. May we all rise spiritually and embrace the shift to the higher dimension. Love, light, and blessings, Sanya, Poonam, Pooja, Yanji, Ushaji, Ankur, Siddharth, Vandana, Rigu, Naveen, Sangeeta, Nehal, Pratimaji, Nishaji, Ravi, Mehek, Shelly, Rima, Prakash, Jikisha, Shruti, Yashvi, Jitendraji, Rohini, Mudita, Rajiv, Payal, Parul, Shalu, Kripa, Sailesh, Harpreet, Sakshi, Prachi, Pinaji, Reena, Prashant, Nikita, Asmeet, Puneet, Richa, Mom, Anika, Radhika, Monish, Hina, Kavita, Aksha, Monica, Meenakshi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The ones who had to share, I don't think are here. But if anybody has any sharing, happy to hear yours. Or if there are any doubts, so day after is an artist's way, and I hope we have been doing it diligently. If not, please use a Soulful Sunday and do it because the book is truly beautiful, and we've completed half the mark last week. So yes, so I don't see the people who had to share. Yes, Sakshi, please share your light.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to share something resonating with what Phil Coutinho taught us today about not using any chemicals or any cosmetics. So, a little bit about myself. Around a year back, I used to hate my hair, I used to hate my skin. I had a very patchy skin. And last year, I got introduced to Sattvic movement. And that is when I really understood how much our skin breathes. So I stopped using everything, like even soap while bathing or even shampoos. I stopped using them. And of course, the reaction from everybody was like, oh my God, how can you not use soap? Especially in summers after like working out. And I can't tell you how much my skin has improved, how much my hair have improved. I've started loving myself so much more. And it's really great. I mean, I really feel that anyone who hasn't tried it should definitely try it. Not using any soap, not using any shampoo, it really works wonders. It's amazing.
Wow. So you might share with us what you're using, maybe on the groups. The others who are missing can also see it. What do you use instead of shampoo? But yes, chemicals are
Sure.
something which we're using new generation. Our great grandmothers or fathers never used chemicals, so that's true. So yes, please do share with us, and thank you for sharing your light. Thank you so much. So how wonderful. So absolutely wonderful. Anybody, any other sharing? Or we can have a good Sunday with our families, with our time, with the artist date if it hasn't been done as yet. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't see any of them. So Ritesh sir, thank you for coming on the Sunday morning. Thank you, Amrita, for the assignment sharing. Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you, everyone. So all right, let's see each other tomorrow at 5. Thank you so much. God bless. Be safe. Lots of love and light.